So do you want to join the Marine Corps because you saw a recruiter with his dress blues? You saw a recruiter in your school with a pull-up bar. You're feeling motivated because he was doing pull-ups or he was challenging you to do pull-ups. And if you do a certain amount of pull-ups, you get a free gift. Or you want to join because you saw a poster of the Marine Corps with the operators, with the Marine Raiders right there with their weapons and cool tactical stuff. If that's the reason why you want to join, then this video is for you. Now, for you that are new in this channel, my name is Jose Duarte. I am a Marine Corps reservist. Some of the stuff I'm going to say is going to be useful throughout the whole military branches, either if it's Army or Marine Corps. Depending on the MOS you have, this video is going to be for you. I am a motor transport, and I'm going to share some experiences from what I have learned this year. So before we get started, please subscribe to my channel, give it a like if you find any value, and share this video out there for those who might be interested in joining the Marine Corps or the military in general. So as I began to share my experience with you guys, I only have about a year and a half in my unit. So according to the field exercise or field training that I've had, these are experiences some people can relate to what I'm going to say. I know some active duty people are going to be out there saying that I don't know nothing because I'm a reservist. I don't know the full spectrum of how the Marine Corps runs or anything like that. But some of the stuff that people don't know once they enter the Marine Corps, they think like the Marine Corps or the military is just like a fantasy world. It's where you can have fun, or it's a place where, you know, you could have like just chill out or just to enjoy the benefits. But once you're inside, these are the stuff that nobody talks about, nobody ever mentions. Or this is what I had thought, and once I'm inside, this is something I realized. So my first field experience in my unit, we were training somewhere in the wintertime. And I remember we only did this for those who are reservists, we don't really have that much field time. We only have like one or two field exercises, and then we have our annual training, which we do spend time in the field. Those are for you that are motor T. And you know, if you're infantry, most of the time you're going to be in the field. So, you know, this can be related to you somewhat as well. So my first field exercise, I remember we went out there and the forecast said that it was going to rain that whole weekend. And, you know, as I was spending my time there, we were doing our tactical training and how to maneuver in a convoy with our trucks. And once the sun started to set down, you know, we see the sky getting cloudy. We see everything just getting completely dark, like it covered the sun already. And I remember I wasn't really like thinking it was gonna rain, so I didn't really take that much like cold weather stuff. So once the time started getting closer to the night, it started being windy, and then afterwards it started to rain. It started to pour rain all over us, and we were like, damn, like now we have to get ready to go to sleep because we can't really train when it's raining. We can't really communicate that well. So I remember that freaking night like if it was yesterday, because that night marked my freaking life. It was the coldest night that I have ever slept outside. I remember it was pouring the whole night. My freaking whole gear was getting wet. Everybody was getting wet. Everybody was just like trying to bunch together so like we could warm up and stay warm the whole night. And I remember I didn't even sleep anything. Like I only slept like half an hour throughout the whole night because I just kept waking up. I was shivering. It was so cold I couldn't feel my feet anymore. I remember like I just wanted to call it quits. I didn't want to be there. I was like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why? Why can't we just go home and then come back the next day? And that morning, everybody woke up and they were all tired. Nobody had slept at all because of the rain. It was windy. Uh, Everybody was just completely out of it. Nobody wanted to do anything, but we still had to train. We still continued training the whole day. And I just remember, like, after we had to come back to the the base or whatever we had, like whatever we do our drills, we went back to our unit, to our base. And our first sergeant, I remember the words he said to us. He was like, back when I was in infantry, I had to I had to get my gear ready. I had to get everything ready, full gear, like 100 pounds worth of gear. And he was deployed somewhere in Afghanistan or Iraq. He said, I was a lance corporal or a corporal, whatever rank he was at that moment. I was a lance corporal or corporal, and I had to get everything ready. I had to get out there. And he said that once he started marching out, it was like 0-400. And once he stepped foot outside, it was snowing. It was freezing. Once he went outside, he didn't want to continue. He just wanted to go march back in. But they had a mission to complete, and he has like once they marched out, he had told us that like they had to pull security to wait for the enemy to come to them. So they had to sit there and wait. They were just waiting for hours and hours, and eventually he told us that he just didn't want to take it no more. He was completely out. He didn't want to do it no more. So he stood up and he was just yelling at everybody, cursing at the whole world. He didn't want to continue. And, he said that nobody had told me anything. He was just like, you know what, calm down, just chill. We're all suffering here. And after that, he said that, everybody just bunched up like they were penguins so they could warm up each other. And then eventually the enemy came to them. They destroyed the enemy, and they completed the mission and went back home safely. So after that, he told us, you know what? I know it sucked what you guys went through, but if I had to go through that, you guys can too. And one of the things that came to my mind is that, in the military, we're supposed to be training for those conditions and those type of experiences, because if you ever get deployed in that situation and you suffer, or you ever get deployed and you go through that situation, you have to know what to do. You have to go through that suck, because it doesn't matter if it's hot, it doesn't matter if it's cold, it doesn't matter if it's raining, if you get wet. You have to get through it. You have to embrace the suck, because you never know if the enemy is going to come to you. So you're always going to have to like go through the suck and embrace it. And that's one thing that went through my mind. And another experience, I could say, like, we did another field operation or field exercise. It was out there in 29 Palms. This happened like a month after the first field exercise. So the month after, we had to go to 29 Palms. And for you guys that don't know, 29 Palms, think about the freaking sand dunes that you went to. Just picture it like that. That's 29 Palms for you. It's all sand. It's dry. It's a desert. It sucks. So as we went out there, we had to freaking drive there. It sucked. So once we arrived there, we had to go in the field. And I just remember, like, we had to set up camp. And that moment we started setting up camp, the freaking sand started blasting at us. It started like a sandstorm. That's how, like, you could literally, like, picture that sandstorm. That's how it was. We couldn't see anything from, like, 5 meters away. And we still had to be out there. We couldn't, stay inside the trucks. We couldn't do anything because we had to, like, set up our camp just in case we had to, just in case there was, like, an ambush from the enemy, because that moment we were training for like an enemy simulation. Like, if we had to be ready, we had to be like on deployment, like we were in deployment. It was like a simulation, and we had to like act like if we were out there and defending our position. So we had to get our stuff ready. We couldn't like just stand by until the sandstorm calmed down. So that's another thing nobody talks about is like these types of conditions that you have to go through and the purpose of it, you know? Just because you see a recruiter or you see like in the movies that, you know, the freaking action that you see and all that freaking, it gets glorified. But to be honest, that action is only for like those operators that actually do the action, you know? Like what we actually do, like non-infantry MOSs, we're basically just like reinforcements. We don't really like do the action unless you get caught someday. So, and the action that really happens, it only happens for like 5-10 minutes. I'm not experienced in this, so you know there's gonna be people out there that are gonna correct me that I don't know anything. But you know how it is right now, you're not gonna see that much action. And if you do, it's only gonna be like 5 or 10 minutes, and then that's it. Or like if it's training wise as well, you're gonna be freaking hiking up there or driving out there in the field, you know, with your gear on and everything, and the action that you get from shooting a machine gun or your rifle, it only lasts for like 2 minutes, and that's it. And then you have to march back or drive back, or like stay there the whole freaking time until everybody gets a turn. So that's how it really is. That's all training is, and it's just getting your body used to it and everything. But you're really gonna have to go through that suck of the weather conditions, of getting wet and getting dusty, just like I mentioned in my field experience. Another thing that happened in 29 Palms is like posting security. That time it freaking sucked as well because we were all tired. We were just tired about of freaking building our position and staying up and you know driving there, and we literally had nothing to do because you know we had to like be like if we were hidden, we didn't want anybody like walking around like if you know it was like a free range for us to go walk around. So we had to post security, and this happened overnight. So mind you, this was still like winter time. This was still like it was still cold at night. So I remember I had to post security. I was freaking tired, but I was just thinking to myself like if I fall asleep and the enemy ambushed us, how would I feel if one of my buddies died because I fell asleep because I wanted to take a moment to shut my eyes and take a quick nap. So that's just some. These are some things that I went through my mind when I was in training. Like this is like pretty serious stuff. This ain't like no game. This is not like some kind of you know like freaking Black Ops game where it's just like you over there, you die and they revive. Like no, this is real stuff. People actually die. So what I was going through my mind was like I can't fall asleep because I have my buddies in my back, or something could happen and then a marine dies, and then if somebody dies because it wasn't my fault, I'm gonna have to live with that throughout my rest of my life. So I didn't want that to happen. So I stood up. It was freezing cold still. I remember I had somebody else with me in the machine gun turret, and he didn't want to come down for some reason, but he was also freezing his butt off. He was over here shivering the whole freaking post. It didn't matter. Like, if it's freaking cold, you still have to be out there because your buddies have to sleep, your buddies have to rest, and then once your watch is over, you can like rotate. But for that time, you have to be awake, you have to be alert, and always look on the lookout for the enemy. So these are like the things that nobody really mentions. And if you're like really joining the Marine Corps because the uniforms, or you're joining because of the cool posters or how the recruiter looked, like yes, these are the cool benefits the Marine Corps has. These are the cool benefits that the Marine Corps offers for us members. But it's not just about that. It's about training. It's about your mentality, how you're going to react when certain stuff happens. Because some people join the Marine Corps, they join because they supposedly want to join, they want to enter school or college, or they enter because of the benefits, or they enter because of certain stuff. And then something like this happens where they have to go through the suck, they have to go through the sucky weather, sucky freaking conditions of being in the cold or hot, and they end up not liking the Marine Corps or the military, and then they start bashing on everything that the Marine Corps does. But they don't see how beneficial like it has for somebody, because the Marine Corps actually like creates leaders if they do it the right way. Because not every person is gonna be a good leader, but at least it builds that mentality of being a leader, leading your Marines or leading people below you. So yes, some people are going to go through it, and if they have the mentality of just doing it for the uniform or just doing it for the benefits, like, yeah, you're gonna have a sucky experience. Because also your NCOs, yeah, some of them might not have combat experience or deployments or that sort of stuff, but some of the NCOs, they need to be creating like that leadership for people below them. So they're going to like rush you, they're going to push you, they're going to challenge you every time, because they want to get you better, they want to get you to that next level of where they're at. So when it comes to people not liking it because they get yelled at, or because it's too cold, or because it's it's too dirty, this and that. Like, yes, it's the freaking military. It's the Marine Corps. Look at the Marine Corps history. Look at how freaking the Marine Corps, how we, how those guys, they went through World War II, how they went through Vietnam, freaking Korea, all that freaking history that the Marine Corps has. They know us as freaking vicious. They know us as ruthless. We're mean. We're the first to fight. So if you have the mentality that we're soft, or that we should treat you right, like look what the enemy has done to the past Marines in the past. Like, nobody cares about your feelings. The enemy doesn't care about your feelings. The enemy doesn't care how you feel. The enemy doesn't care if you're hungry. Enemy doesn't care if you're thirsty, if you haven't slept. They don't care. So if you have that mentality that we should treat you right, or that you're privileged, you joined the wrong freaking branch. You joined the wrong position, or the wrong industry here. You should have joined something else, because being in the military, you have to be rough. You have to be mean. You have to be strong physically. You have to go through the suck. But, as I'm mentioning these types of things, you also have the benefit of meeting good people, cool people. You also have the benefit of being a leader. And if you're doing it the right way, these stuff can actually go with you as you part your way with the military, or as you part your way with the Marine Corps, and you could take it out there in the outside world, and you know using the same tactics, using the same communication skills that you learn here, you could take it out there. So that's all I have for you guys. Just think about it good. It's not just about uniforms. It's about creating leaders, creating strong people to defend the country. That's literally what you're doing the military for. So if you found any value in this video, give it a like. Comment in the comment section below if you agree with me, or if you have any other experiences that I didn't mention, or for you active duty people that are actually like mortar T or infantry. Share your experiences below, and for those people that want to join and actually like want to think about it, and so they don't join and then regret it later on and start bashing on the Marine Corps or the military branches out there. So that's all I have for you guys, and as always, keep your head up, stay motivated, and stay moving forward. Peace out.